Imagine this. You're commanding the most advanced nuclear submarine ever built, the USS Silent Serpent. Stealthy, powerful, loaded with state-of-the-art weaponry. You're on a top-secret mission in the deep, dark abyss of the Pacific. Suddenly, all your instruments go haywire. The hull groans under an unimaginable force. Lights flicker, and then darkness. When the emergency power kicks in, your sonar operator stares at his screen, his face pale. The readings make no sense. The water is shallow, the coastline is unrecognizable, and the ocean is filled with wooden ships. This is where our story begins. The USS Silent Serpent hasn't just been thrown off course, it's been thrown back in time. The year is 218 BC. The location? The Mediterranean Sea, right in the middle of the Second Punic War. And those wooden ships. They're the Roman and Carthaginian fleets, locked in a brutal naval battle. The crew of the Silent Serpent is baffled. Their GPS is useless. Satellite communication is non-existent, and their mission to the 21st century is now a distant memory. They are a ghost from the future, an apex predator in a pond of minnows. Commander Eva Rostova, a seasoned veteran with ice in her veins, faces an unprecedented dilemma. Her prime directive is to observe and not interfere. But as she watches through the periscope, she sees the sheer brutality of ancient naval warfare. Triremes ramming each other, splintering wood, and drowning men. Soldiers in bronze armor fighting hand-to-hand on slippery, blood-soaked decks. It's a chaotic, visceral slaughter. Her modern sensibilities are horrified. The temptation to intervene is immense. A single torpedo could end the battle in seconds, saving hundreds of lives. But what would that do to the timeline? The butterfly effect could unravel history as they know it. The crew is divided. Some, like the hot-headed weapons officer, argue they have a moral duty to act. They possess godlike power here. They could stop the war, reshape the world for the better. Others, led by the cautious historian on board, Dr. Eris Thorne, plead for restraint. He warns that any interference, no matter how well-intentioned, could lead to unforeseen disasters, potentially erasing their own existence. Commander Rostova is caught in the middle. Her duty as a naval officer clashes with her conscience as a human being. For days, they drift beneath the waves, a silent, unseen observer. They gather intelligence, mapping the coastlines, listening to the strange. Ancient languages over their sophisticated hydrophones. They learn about the two great powers clashing for control of the known world. The disciplined, relentless Republic of Rome and the mercantile empire of Carthage, led by the brilliant general Hannibal Barca. They are witnessing history firsthand, a privilege no historian has ever had. But this privilege is also a heavy burden. The situation escalates when a small Roman vessel, damaged and separated from the main fleet, drifts helplessly towards a rocky shore. It's carrying civilians, refugees fleeing the chaos. A Carthaginian patrol spots them. It's not a battle, it's an execution. Rostova watches through the periscope, her knuckles white. She sees the fear on the faces of the people on board. Children are crying. This is no longer an abstract historical event. It's real, and it's happening right in front of her. She can't stand by. Against Dr. Thorne's frantic protests, she makes a decision. No weapons, she orders. Let's give them a little show. The Silent Serpent surfaces. Imagine the scene. A 560-foot behemoth of black, seamless metal rising from the depths like a sea monster from mythology. The Carthaginian sailors freeze, their jaws dropping in terror and disbelief. They have never seen anything like it. Their oars stop moving. Their swords feel like toys. The submarine doesn't fire a shot. It doesn't need to. It simply sits there, an impossible, terrifying presence on the water. It emits a low-frequency sonar ping, a sound so alien and unnerving that the Carthaginians, convinced they've angered a sea god, frantically turn their ship and flee. The Roman vessel is saved. But the Silent Serpent is no longer a secret. News spreads like wildfire through both fleets. Sailors whisper tales of a monstrous sea serpent, a divine omen sent by Neptune or Baal-Hamon. Rome and Carthage, both deeply superstitious, are unsure what to make of it. Is it a blessing or a curse? This single act of non-violent intervention has already altered the course of events. The battle pauses as both sides try to interpret the meaning of this strange new god of the sea. But here's where the real challenge begins, something the crew of the Silent Serpent never anticipated. Their greatest strength, their technologies, also their greatest weakness. They are a nuclear-powered machine in an age of wood and bronze. They can't exactly pull into port for repairs. Their food supplies are finite. The nuclear reactor can last for decades, but other complex systems can fail. And one does. The atmospheric scrubbers, the delicate system that recycles their air, begins to malfunction. They can't fabricate the replacement parts. They are trapped in a metal tube at the bottom of the sea, and their air is slowly, inexorably, becoming toxic. Their 21st century technology is useless against this problem. They can't call for help. They can't order spare parts from Amazon. They are forced to surface, to reveal themselves fully to the ancient world. They need help, and the only people who can give it are the very people they tried so hard not to disturb. They need something simple, something the ancient world has in abundance: raw materials and basic craftsmanship. They need blacksmiths, not quantum physicists. Commander Rostova must now make the most difficult decision of her life: make contact. She chooses to approach the Romans, seeing them as the more organized and perhaps predictable power. The USS Silent Serpent surfaces near a Roman encampment. The reaction is what you'd expect: panic, awe, and religious fervor. Legionaries drop their spears and fall to their knees. But their commander, a pragmatic and intelligent consul named Gaius Lutatius, is more curious than afraid. He agrees to meet. Commander Rostova and a small team, wearing modern civilian clothes to appear as non-threatening as possible, meet the Roman delegation. Communicating is a challenge, but Dr. Thorne's knowledge of Latin proves invaluable. They try to explain their predicament without revealing the truth about time travel. They claim to be from a distant, unknown land called Serpentina, a land of metal marvels. They need help repairing their ship. In exchange, they offer knowledge, advanced irrigation techniques, crop rotation, basic medical hygiene. Things that could dramatically improve Roman life without giving away disruptive military technology. Gaius Lutatius is intrigued. A tease sees the potential. This alliance could give Rome an unprecedented edge over Carthage, so a strange partnership is formed. Roman blacksmiths and engineers, brilliant in their own right, are brought aboard the Silent Serpent. They are mystified by the technology, but they are masters of metal and mechanics. Under the guidance of the sub's engineers, they begin to forge the crude, but functional parts needed to repair the air scrubbers. It's like a clash of worlds. Men who work with fire and hammers, fixing a machine powered by the atom. But this alliance does not go unnoticed. Hannibal Barca, the cunning Carthaginian general, is not one to be outmaneuvered. His spies report on this strange alliance between his enemy and the sea gods. Hannibal doesn't believe in gods, he believes in power. He sees the submarine not as an omen, but as a new piece on the chessboard, a weapon to be captured and controlled. While the Romans and the crew of the Silent Serpent are busy with repairs, Hannibal launches a surprise attack, not on the Roman army, but on the submarine itself. He uses his ingenuity. He can't fight the sub at sea, so he decides to trap it. Under the cover of night, his forces use chains and massive nets, weighted down with stone anchors, to try and snag the submarine in the shallow harbor where it's being repaired. It's a primitive but brilliant strategy. Alarms blare through the Silent Serpent. They are caught. The ancient world is fighting back, and it's using its own rules. The crew, who once saw themselves as gods are now caught in a net like a common fish. The most advanced war machine in history is being challenged by rope and stone. Now Commander Rostova must fight. Not for history, not for a mission, but for survival. She can no longer afford to be a passive observer. The future of her crew and her ship is on the line. But how do you fight an ancient army without obliterating them and shattering the timeline forever? This is the ultimate test. They came here as silent observers, but have become active players in one of history's most epic conflicts. Their journey is no longer about getting home. It's about surviving the past. What do you think they should do? Unleash the full power of the Silent Serpent and risk destroying history, or try to outsmart one of the greatest military minds who ever lived using his own tactics. The choices they make will determine not only their fate, but the future of the world as we know it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that challenge the imagination. Thanks for watching.